Professor A.B. Pandit, the Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, respected Professor Grover, Professor Tyagi sir, Dean, Associate Deans, Assistant Dean, other faculty members, and my dear colleagues, other employees of HBNI. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this special gathering on the occasion of Teachers' Day, a day dedicated to honoring the invaluable contribution of teachers and mentors in shaping knowledge and society. Before we move ahead, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly present a welcome bouquet to our chief guest, Professor A.B. Pandit, as a token of our respect and warm regards.
Okay, great. Guillermo Norma.
I'll bring this chair this side. Chair.
To make it bigger.
Thank you, sir. We are truly honored to have you with us, sir, today. Now, I would like to invite Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean, to deliver the welcome address, please.
Thank you very much. Respected Professor A.B. Pandit, Vice Chancellor, Institute of Chemical Technology, and Chief Guest of the Day. Respected Professor R.B. Grover, Founding Director of HBNI. Honorable Professor U. Kamachi Mudli, VC HBNI. My friends from academic, admin, and other wings. And I see several people have joined online. Dr. P.C. Selvin, you all can recognize very well. He is also online. Welcome to this program. Thanks for sparing your time. As you know, today we have assembled to celebrate Teachers' Day 2025 at HBNI. Many of you may not be knowing that the significance of this day. September 5 happens to be the birthday of Dr. Radhakrishnan Sarvepalli. He was second President of India, and he himself was a great teacher by profession. When India got independence, that time Government of India requested Dr. Radhakrishnan Sarvepalli to informally work on new education policy. This is we talk about NEP 2020. First NEP came immediately after independence on the request of then Prime Minister of India, and Dr. Radhakrishnan Sarvepalli was a person who spent a lot of time to bring out a document with basic aim of minimizing the colonial influence on education in India. As you know, we are under rule of colonial rule for about 200 years or so. So with that, NEP exercise was started. Second NEP was, of course, in 1964, Kothari Commission. Third one was during Rajiv Gandhi's time in late 1980s. And now we talk about fourth and current generation NEP 2020. Dr. Radhakrishnan Sarvepalli happens to be the first person. There were three people who got Bharat Ratna in 1954. Sir C.V. Raman, Dr. Sarvepalli, and C. Rajagopalachari. I always say that all three happens to be from Tamil Nadu. Such was the impact of people from this part of the country on Indian various walks, be it education, be it politics, be it science. So he was one of the first three recipients of this IGS award in this country. Subsequently, Government of India announced his birthday as a day to commemorate Teachers' Day. And in this process, today we are assembled here. It gives me a pleasure to welcome our chief guest and other important dignitaries, all the participants from our CIs, online and offline, and all my colleagues to come and join this program. With this, I hand over the proceedings to Registrar HBNI to move forward.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and warm welcome. Now, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Thomas Murli, sir, kindly give opening remarks and share his thoughts on this occasion.
Good afternoon, Chief Guest for the Teachers' Day celebration, Professor Anirudh Balachandra Pandit, Dr. R.B. Grover, Founding Director of HPNI, Dean, Registrar, and my dear colleagues of HPNI. I'm extremely pleased that today we have with us Professor A.B. Pandit, the Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, as the Chief Guest to deliver this Teachers' Day lecture. In fact, we have been trying for a couple of other occasions in the past. We could not do it. And I think once or twice we have to reschedule and we postpone. And I'm very delighted that today we are able to do that, even with a minor adjustment of shifting one day early today. And we have to leave immediately because there is another meeting on vision at 4:30, which our distinguished Professor Eminence, Professor J.B. Joshi, the Chancellor of ICT, is organizing there. So I'm extremely delighted that in spite of all this, rescheduling, he is here today to deliver this Teachers' Day address. Professor Pandit did his B.Tech Chemical Engineering at BHU, Institute of Technology. Today it is IIT BHU. And he did his PhD at UDCT Mumbai, erstwhile UDCT Mumbai. Today it is the ICT Mumbai. And he is a fellow of all the science as well as the engineering academy in the country, and also the fellow of the World Academy of Sciences and fellow of the Maharashtra Academy of Sciences. And he is a JC Bose National Fellow of DST, Government of India. I'm extremely delighted. A reputed person like him has accepted our invitation and came over here to deliver this Teachers' Day address. He is internationally renowned scientist and engineer in the area of cavitation, sonochemistry, and water treatment, particularly the wastewater treatment. And he has done both theoretical modeling, simulations using CFD, designing, as well as the implementation and application of various chemical engineering technologies and devices of huge, immense benefit to the Indian industry. And he has also taught at ICT, Environmental Engineering and Process Safety, Chemical Project Economics, Design of Multi-Phase Reactors, Project Engineering and Economics, and Separation Processes. He is a recognized research guide for PhD and master students, and I am delighted to tell you that so far he has guided 70 PhD scholars and 100 ongoing, and 70 masters, 100 PhD, and 6 ongoing and 4 masters ongoing. And he has published, as on date, I think around 500, exactly 465, and the total citations are more than 40,000 with H index of 105. And he has a national and international patent applied and granted together 50 plus book chapters, 21, and 6 books he has edited and published. He has delivered more than 250 national and international specialist expert lectures in conferences and institutions. And he has also completed 32 R&D projects, both government sponsored as well as industry sponsored, and 4 are ongoing. Currently, he is the Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology with Mumbai, Jalna, and Bhubaneswar campus. Vice President, he was till recently he was Vice President INAE for Academic, Professional, and International Affairs. President of Asia Oceania Sonochemical Society Board. He was also during this tenure Vice Chancellor of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University during February 21 to January 22, and he is the President of the Board of Governors at Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Petroleum Technology, UP. And he has been member of several important committees of the Government of India, including in DST, UGC, and Ministry of several ministries, and is an adjunct professor at BIT's Goa campus, member Board of Governor of IIT Bombay,
He did not read out all that.
Yeah, we are very proud to hear, such a wonderful teacher has come here to deliver this lecture here. He has been a member of editorial board of several prestigious international journals, and he has been a member of many private industries, societies, and NGOs. And notably, some of the best awards that he has received in the last 5 years include Vishwakarma Medal from Indian National Academy of Sciences, INSA, Sir J.C. Bose Fellow of the Department of Science and Technology, Sri G.M. Marve Prize for Most Research-Oriented Group from Chemical Engineering, and Outstanding Achievement in R&D, Chemtech Leadership and Excellence Award, ICC DM Trivedi Lifetime Achievement Award for contribution to Indian chemical industry, Best Teacher Award at Institute of Chemical Technology on 17 occasions out of 31 years of service. So I think we should all and he secured first position as the best scientist in India by the research.com. That's a very very good recognition. And he was also chosen as Eminent Engineer Award of the Engineering Council of India for the research and consultancy category. I'm extremely delighted and proud, Professor A.B. Pandit, that you have accepted today to come over here and deliver this Teachers' Day address. A warm welcome to you from Vibhava National Institute.
Chief guest. As our Vice Chancellor sir has already briefed, Professor Pandit is an eminent academic leader and a distinguished scholar whose contributions to education and research have been exemplary. I now invite Professor Pandit to deliver the Teachers' Day address. Please.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you very much for a very generous introduction, Kamachi. It's nice to be back on a familiar territory. I've been visiting HBNI many a times, even including this for reviewing BRNS projects many a times. Professor Grover, Professor Yagi, and all my colleagues, some of my students are also there. College did his PhD with me. So I'm delighted to be back among the known people. And what I'm going to say is basically what you can call it as a life's philosophy of an academic. And in the advent of AI being imposed on us, how the role of a teacher has significantly changed. So I will spend a few minutes first to define what is expected of an academic. Why I'm saying academic is in institutes like HBNI or ICT, teaching is not the only requirement of an academic. Academic requires essentially 4 activities to be taken with equal importance, if not the priority wise. Of course, teaching becomes the primary aim and objective because ultimately it's an institute. Second activity is the teacher should get involved in research so that whatever new things which the teacher is finding, his students, his or her, when I say his, it means her, I'm not gender specific when I say sometimes his. When they find something new, they don't have, their students don't have to wait till that item is published and available in the literature, in the journal, and then they get to read it. It can take anywhere from 1.5 years. But when teacher does research, he has that audience available readily to share his new findings. So whatever he or she is teaching, essentially sharing the latest information, the knowledge which he is creating, the knowledge which he is generating, and he has an opportunity to share that particular knowledge. And that's the importance of research. And as you can see, it also makes the teaching more interesting for the students because students get to know the latest of the things. The third activity which is necessary for an academic to step out of the institute and interact with the society, interact with the industry, interact with the other stakeholders who are the customers to whom you are providing a service through your learned students or the research or the consultancy. And the relevance of your research, you will only come to know when you step out of the institute and start interacting with the others. When you start interacting with the others, you realize what are the problems which still remains to be solved, what are the problems for which the society as well as industry is seeking solutions. So you can identify a project area which your students or you can work on and provide those solutions so that research which you carry out doesn't remain only a blue sky research and only remain to the publishing in papers, but industry can really utilize it immediately. So it allows you to do a relevant research, and the people or the students who are doing and working under you also get the satisfaction that they have not only published paper, but they have also contributed to the development and technology which is getting implemented, benefiting a large number of people from the society. And the fourth objective, according to me, of an academic is to involve in some scholarly writing. Now, why that is important, scholarly writing, why is it important? It is important because when you publish, let's say you want to publish a paper, you always have a word or a page limit. You need to complete it in 6 pages, 8 pages, 12 pages, 15 pages, and number of words, something is specified. So if you want to convey your findings, your new findings, your research in a limited number of space, you always learn to express yourself very, very accurately without any ambiguity. Essentially what it means, you learn to formulate your thought process in such a way that whatever you want to convey, you will be in a position to convey it in a manner which is completely unambiguous and very, very clear. And that also helps you in teaching, because once you start realizing and formulating your thoughts, which can be written down, these thoughts also can be translated when you speak and give lectures. Now, this has been the traditional role of academic, and this traditional role doesn't change or hasn't changed or will not change. But the methodology of carrying out these loads have significantly changed as a result of advent of AI being introduced to us. So let me just go, you can have a presentation. Initially, Tyagiji asked me, and I said that I'm not going to make any presentation, I'll just speak off tempo. But then I thought that if some record has to be there, then it is better I prepare something, my thought process is related to AI. So this is what is going to be the modern classroom. Probably not today, but in the very near future. I know that. So I have titled is an evolving role of a teacher in the advent of AI. This is what the title is. And the picture typically shows that a teacher has become redundant. A robot is teaching all these things, but that is not going to be true, because ultimately the robot needs to be trained by a teacher himself. So essentially what you really need to do is a teacher needs to be a curator of the existing knowledge and information, and that is what I'm going to talk about for the next 25 minutes or so. So if I move, the outline of this is which are the pillars of academics and education, what is the role of a teacher, and I've already elaborated the role of a teacher. I have elaborated the role of an academic. I'll more elaborate the role of a teacher in due course of time. AI in education and what capabilities this AI can offer you. People usually get threatened. They get threatened mainly because they feel that everything is available. What am I going to go and teach? When they get that kind of feeling, they are essentially passing only the information which is only available. Now, if the teacher continues to just pass on information which is already available, the older job of a teacher was that during our time, a teacher would study from 10 different books, 5 different publications, and sum up all that, and then that distilled knowledge, they used to pass it on to us. And we used to know now that if we wanted to get any details, which paper to refer to, which this thing refer to, now everything is available at fingertips. Right? Everybody carries a mobile, and Google Baba gives everything, and you got one step ahead of that now. And the AI will not only, it's not necessary for you to ask Google, you ask AI, and AI will extract that information from Google and then pass it on to you. And AI will not limit it to Google, but it will scan through all the search engines which are available, all the information which is available. So if you continue to keep your role as an information provider, you are going to be redundant in no time. And people who are sitting in your class are going to be absolutely bored because ये तो मेरे को मालूम है, ये मेरे पास सब लिखा हुआ है, ये आके यहाँ से, why should I waste my time? I should do something else. And then the bunking of the class will start happening, and then you'll start getting adverse remarks from the teacher, from the students about your teaching, so on and so forth, and that will hurt because accountability for the teacher has become much more prominent due to the awareness of the students being very, very, even now, even in India, even now to a certain extent, because of the culture, we show some respect to the teacher. You go to a Western world, and if the teacher is not providing the kind of information or kind of skill set which the student who has registered for that course is seeking, there would be a complaint against the teacher and the teacher will be removed. Because students are saying we are paying good money for attending these classes to learn a certain skill set. And if you are not going to learn that skill set, and if you are just going to get information which is available, there is no point in me spending that kind of a money. So the university has to be very, very careful. Institute also has to be very careful in terms of improving the competence of the teachers who are going to teach. So that is and AI can be a very, very effective tool in improving this. So AI and teacher in education system, role of teachers in the age of AI, and what is the way forward. This is going to be a broad outline of my talk. So pillars of academic excellence is teaching and learning. Students who have graduated are able to have a successful life. Success, the definition of success varies from everybody. Pillars have some different definition. You may have different definition. Your friend may have certain definition, different definition. Then there is involved academic research and experience of campus. That is essentially a campus life. A campus life means not only you are learning, but you are learning also in terms of working together, learning together, the community learning. Those who have studied pedagogy, you'll understand there is a huge strength in community learning. And the kind of things which you do together, you tend to remember it much faster than and much longer than the things which you do only on your own capacity. So pillars of education these are extremely important. Learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and that is what I call about community learning, and learning to be. Learning to be means you are an individual. You have as an individual a specific capacity, a specific skill set, something less, something more than the other having a similar skill set, and you must exploit that particular skill set to the best of your advantage. So these learning process will continue forever, and learning to do essentially whatever you have learned, whether you have been able to exercise that learning into translation of some activity, a specific skill set. If not, or along with that, if a group is doing that activity, then can you assist the group? And everybody keeps in his or her bit of skill set, and you finally come up with either a product or a process which then results into the solution which the society is seeking for. And learning to be means you become a member, a responsible, contributing member of a society. Let's call ourselves an engineering society or scientist society or doer society, and you need to be a doer to be in this particular society. I never get tired of saying this. A teacher can never truly teach unless he is still learning himself. A lamp can never light another lamp unless she continues to burn its or her own flame. Now, this is the thing which you should never forget that. A good teacher is a continuous learner. And for a teacher to learn new exercises, it is necessary for that teacher to step out of his comfort zone at some point of time and start something new. But every time, if you are going to judge, aaj ye saal mein mera 2 ही पब्लिकेशन आया, अगले साल में 10 था, पिछले साल में 10 था, अब मैंने सब्जेक्ट चेंज किया है. Please accept the fact that if you change the subject, if you change the topic, there is going to be some lull in your productivity because you are still mastering that particular subject. So you can expect for a few years your productivity will not be as your productivity was before, but in due course of time, if you continue and stick with it, I'm sure you will also excel there, provided you continue that particular activity of learning something new. In ICT, we have our syllabus gets revised every 5 years or 6 years. Every alternate year, every 3 or 4 years, typically, the same subjects are taught by different faculty. So I have taught all the subjects of chemical engineering in my career, 40 years of teaching career. What it means is the same subject is learned by a student with a completely different flavor. Right? I don't use the notes which have been taken out by somebody else and just go and use those particular notes. If I'm teaching the subject, it's my responsibility to study the subject, learn the subject, take out notes, and then use those particular notes for presentation. So role of a teacher, of course, lecturer is one, he's also a controller of life. He's a prompter. Wherever there are difficulties, he is going to be there to solve those difficulties. He is also going to be a resource person. I'm leaving my presentation here. You can use it. I have no proprietary on it. This is all thought processes which you can follow very easily. He is also an assessor. And when you say he's an assessor, it is not only giving marks, but it is also pointing out mistakes. It is also pointing out the improvements which he or she can do in the process of assessing. Assessing is not only giving marks. Assessing is essentially identify the weak points of the student, train that particular student, especially in those weak points if that student wants to be developed as a capable individual. He's an organizer of the information, curator of information, organizer of life, organizer of a general lifestyle. And that is what will be learned, time management and whatever. This is all organizational aspects of it. And a teacher must get involved in these activities as well. He is an equal participant because he is learning himself. Many of us, I'm sure all of you might be doing it, is when you have students, in the first 2 or 3 times, you will go with the students, do the experiments yourself, see that the student is doing those experiments properly, learn or tell the students not to do this way, do that way, and then see when she starts going. So essentially, you are also a participant in this entire exercise of learning and teaching. He's a tutor. So all these roles are followed by a teacher. Teacher has to take up and wear multiple hats depending upon the situation and continue to work in this particular area. So when AI is introduced in education, the traditional image of teachers standing in front of a classroom, delivering lectures and imparting knowledge is gradually being reshaped by the integration of AI tools. So the information on the photographs which I showed is a robot teaching. It is going to happen the same way because the robot is not going to be creative. It may, but it is still time yet for a teacher to help that creativity to be brought in. AI should be used for taking out all routine tasks. Now, if AI is used to take routine tasks, you will be left with a lot of free time. Use that free times for nurturing creativity, creating absolutely new knowledge, new platforms, or new perception about the same problem which may be offering multiple solutions. It is important for you to develop the student in terms of having emotional intelligence. You find many a times IITs, you find the suicide rates are going on. All this is important because people are not emotionally intelligent. Failure is just a method of learning. I mean, I still have a very high hope of starting one particular journal at some point of time before I retire. Is journal of negative results. What we do is when we publish something, we always publish positive results. You might have done 10 experiments, out of which 2 experiments might have been successful. And only those successful experiments you will be allowed to publish. If you say that I've tried 10 things, these 10 different things, then the editor will say, no, you don't have to talk about this. You only talk about the positive results which has contributed to the knowledge base. What happens in the process is the other people who are reading it will make those 10 mistakes again. A lot of resource wastage, a lot of time wastage. If this was available to them that I have tried these 10 things, please don't try these things, but these 2 things are successful, please expand on this. So this is one particular thing, and that is what is bringing out emotional intelligence. Meaning failures are going to be there, and you need to be able to learn to accept the failures. Again, I think somehow our parenthood or our recent parents, I remember that way, that people who come from villages, their parents are absolutely have no clue what their students are doing, what their children are doing. So they never ask the question, आपने क्या पढ़ा, कितने marks लाए, पास हुआ क्या नहीं पास हुआ, उतना ही है बस. Right? Whereas you come to city, इतने number आए. How come this fellow came second? How come you did not come first? So unnecessarily pressure is put on the student, and as a result of which the student loses the interest in learning and only concentrates on the marks or the rankings which he gets. Now somebody asked me a question, is why NRF ranking of ICT has gone down. I said, yes, it has gone down, but you see past 10 years of consistency in ICT, number of paper published, number of research projects done, number of extramural funding generated, number of other activities which are there. ICT has been progressively, slowly increasing. Others might be doing something else. But if we keep compare with ourselves, what we did last year and how we are doing it this year, forget about the other comparison. If that continues, if there you find you're going down, then there is some necessary steps which need to be taken. And that is what this vision meeting is scheduled for 4:30 today. Anyway. So AI transforms being from both challenges and opportunity, ultimately shaping a new era of education. Right? And I'll elaborate on that in due course of time. So AI can be utilized for, I would call it, is power of AI how effectively it can be used in teaching. Personalized learning, which I told you about, if you are in a position to understand the specific difficulties faced by a particular student. Some people are exceptionally good at mathematics, some people just pass through or scrape through. But again, if you want to have ability, I had a PhD student, outstanding mathematician. I mean, he would only talk in terms of equations. I would ask him, what does this equation mean physically? He would stumble. He would not be in a position to explain. He would again try to explain to me in terms of this particular function, if I double differentiate it. I said, no, I am not interested in you doing any mathematical tricks on it. You tell me what is the physics behind this. And he would fumble. So I had to really train him to be able to convey that mathematical equation in the physical form, which only the others will be able to understand, because not everybody has that skill set to understand the kind of mathematics which he was talking about. Right? So AI adjusts lessons to each student's need and pace, provides personalized resources for various learning styles. Because in pedagogy also, we know that there are different types of students. Some are visual learners, some are audible learners, some are doing learners based on actual hands-on. So AI will give them that particular opportunity and adjust the overall curricula in such a way that the need of each and every student is met. Efficient administration automates grading and administrative tasks. Yes, you need not waste time. I'm sure every teacher, without exception, they love taking out question papers, right? But they hate grading the question papers, at least in my case. Same thing, I'm sure everybody curses, I have to take a class of 150 students. I don't mind teaching 150 students, but correcting 150 papers at a time is a pain in the neck. So if you have some automated, but again, to have it automated, you need to be in a position to curate a paper in such a way that it can be automatically adjusted, or AI is So it's again a job for a teacher to be more creative in terms of how he or she can take out a question paper of interest. Frees up time for creative lesson planning and students interaction. This, if you can get into efficient administration using AI. Data-driven insights identify strengths and areas of improvement. It's essentially statistical data based on the student's performance, his past grades, how he has improved, or where exactly he or she is lacking in terms of his perception, skill set, or understanding. And AI can add on this information to that. It's similar to taking additional classes for weaker students, which you do. And AI can definitely take care of it. Again, you need not spend time on doing that. And allows a targeted support and intervention. Intervention is the one which is going to be done by the student. AI cannot do that intervention as of yet now, but don't know what is going to be the future. So embracing AI power for teaching, engaging the content. That is what I mean by curating the content so that it is suitable for individual learners. Offers interactive and dynamic learning materials. And you can use all the AI-based teaching, learning. I'm sure if I ask AI to write an essay, a 400-word, 500-word essay, I'll get it in maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds. But if you read that particular essay, it is just the information which is there. It is collated and presented to you. But it doesn't really tell you why that information is important. And that is what the role of the teacher is. He or she should tell that AI has given you this output, why this output is especially important for you to learn, and what you can learn from this particular output. Right? It enhances students' engagement and participation. And this is what I call it as a future-ready education. So AI, again, I think we had education policy revival after nearly 40 years, correctly pointed out by Tyagi, 1980 was the last one. After 40 years. We have taken that, and it is indeed extremely laudatory and useful. And the person who was in charge of that, Dr. Kasturirangan, again a very learned fellow, and he has done an outstanding job. And if you really want to implement NEP, people don't understand. It is more effort on part of a teacher than on student. Students are going to be easy, provided the NEP is implemented by a teacher in its true sense and perspective. Prepare students with essentially 21st century skills, because ultimately AI is going to stay here and fosters critical thinking and problem solving abilities. AI has always what is called as a mandatory disclosure. We have given this doesn't necessarily mean it is correct. It is mandatory for you to go read and find out the mistakes. And many a times we have found out that, I think I was talking to Professor Arvind Kumar of a physicist and who looks after your Homi Baba, this thing. And he says the same thing. He is actually taken up upon himself to really see how accurate the AI information and AI output is. And he is realizing the fact that he said that no, there are many false information, incorrect information, which AI brings out, and it is necessary for you to understand the subtleties which the AI doesn't understand. And that is what the job now of a teacher is. Personalized, AI customizes educational content to meet individual student needs. Teachers can focus on providing deeper insights. What I mentioned about is AI has given you something. You need to explain why AI has given you that. And that is what the job of a teacher is. Efficient enhancement, AI automates administrative tasks like grading, attendance. Teachers have no more for lesson planning and student. You can do that. I mean, you can do the first planning. You want to teach this subjects. At the end of this particular subject, you define that this is the skill set which I'm expecting from my students when they clear this particular subject. Now, to have this skill set, you can do the planning from AI. Ask them what subjects need to be taught, in what order, what practicals are to be taken, so that at the end of the day, the student acquires the required skill set. Data-driven decisions, AI offers insight into students' performance and learning gaps. Again, individual experience or individual attention to the students, and then you can have interventions effectively. Engaging instruction, AI provides interactive adaptive learning materials. Teacher can create a more dynamic and engaging classroom. As I said, output of AI has come. You tell that there are 4 different AI say sites which are available. Somebody uses Claude, somebody uses Gemini, somebody uses Chatbox, somebody uses something else. And you tell them that this is a job and you get things out from AI. Bring this output from AI into the class and let us see how each of these AI has differed and why it has differed. What is the accurate part of it? Can I come up with the wholesale and a realistic output which is expected as a correct output? So AI can be in a complementary role. AI supports teacher, but human guidance remains essential. Right? AI cannot replace human guidance. Teachers provide the emotional intelligence, creativity that AI lacks. Role of a teacher in age of AI shifts from information delivery to skill cultivation. Teachers now free to focus on cultivating critical thinking, problem-solving abilities, creativity, and emotional intelligence. You ask AI to create a problem and give that problem to you, AI will create a problem related to the topic. You try to solve it yourself. If not, try to get the solution also. AI will also provide you a solution, but you must understand what is the solution, whether the authenticity and correctness of that particular solution. So customized learning journeys, AI can identify strengths and weaknesses, adapting the curricula to suit each student's needs, and leverage AI-generated insights to provide targeted interventions for struggling students and advanced challenges for those who excel. Fostering human skills in an automated world, empathy, communication, adaptability, and collaboration. These are not taught by machine learning or they are not by AI. That is the current job of a teacher in the advent of AI being introduced. Teachers are now responsible for fostering these irreplaceable human skills. In an era where AI-driven systems can provide instant answers, teachers encourage students to ask meaningful questions, think critically. I am sure many of you might have got the WhatsApp messages, the exercise which MIT students did or MIT faculty did in terms of mapping of the brain, those who depend on AI and those who did not depend on AI. And the kind of brain activities which are happening, the actually AI using students were losing out certain activities related to critical thinking. I mean, those areas of the brain were completely inactive. And when they were asked something beyond AI capability, they were not in a position to come up and answer those. Whereas those who had never used AI were much proficient in terms of providing those particular answers. So this is what we must be guarding against usage of excessive AI. Through interactive discussion, group projects, and experiential learning, teachers ensure that students are equipped with the skill set and that will set them apart in an automated job market. Ethical and moral guidelines in technological use. I'm sure every engineer follows 6 basic engineering ethics whenever we conduct any particular activity. And this is what will be introduced by the teacher when you are using AI or not using AI. So teachers are responsible for instilling values. They can guide students in understanding and potential consequences of AI technologies, usage and not usage of AI technologies. Can incorporate ethical case studies into their curricula, focusing on AI-related scenarios. These case studies challenge students to analyze complex situations and make ethical decisions based on their understanding of AI implications. This approach helps students develop problem-solving skills and ethical reasoning. Lifelong learning and teachers' professional development, staying updated with the latest educational technologies, including AI, understanding how AI tool can enhance learning experience and not only enhance, can speed up your learning experience is equally important. And adopting instructional strategies is important. Incorporating AI into classroom requires teachers to become proficient in usage of AI-powered educational softwares. And plenty of these are available now. There are small courses which are going on. And one of the requirements of engineering ethics is you must continue to improve your skill set. Now, this is additional skill set we must improve, that we must also have. When computers were instituted, we used to start with slide rules, then slide rules were shifted to calculators. The calculators, then calculators became so proficient that it became their computers, and then we use computers, now supercomputers, clusters, you name it. And all this is advanced. And now again, similarly, is a requirement for us to learn new skill set. And as a teacher, you should never shirk from learning a new skill set, because the moment you do that, you stop being a teacher. So that is what Rabindranath Tagore ji said, that you got to learn continuously. So ensures that teachers remains effective in their roles and continue to provide high quality education that meets the need of their tech-savvy students. Because you always know, I'm sure you don't understand something from the mobile, you give it to your kid, "Arey, ye mere ko karke de do na." And he is very proficient in that. He will do it in no time and give it back to you. So the way forward is evolving role of teachers, and automation is crucial to resilience and adaptability of the education sector. As technology reshapes the education landscapes, teachers are not just providers of information, but architects of critical thinking, creativity, and ethical reasoning. The personalized learning journey facilitated by emphasizes the importance of human guidance and mentorship in an increasingly digitized world. And AI continues to evolve. Teacher must leverage this technology and not be afraid of this technology. And for that, they must first learn the AI themselves and enhance their pedagogical approaches and skills while staying true to their fundamental mission of nurturing well-rounded, capable, and ethical individuals who can thrive in the dynamic world of the future. Thank you very much for your kind attention. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer.
Sir, I have a comment, of course, not a question.
Yeah,
Sir,
please.
you were so right to say that this journal of negative result is very important concept. Sir, 40 years back when I joined BRC, Dr. R.M. Iyer, morning also we were remembering me and VC sir. Sir, he was director chemistry group. Robert sir, you must be him.
Yeah, I know him.
Sir, my first project which was given to me, it did not succeed. So I could not prepare what I was asked to. So one day I was, on Saturday, I was roaming in corridor, a bit dejected, a 21, 22-year-old young boy. Iyer sir called me. Young boy, what has happened? He used to call me young boy with long hairs. So I went to his office. I went to the board and I explained to him why last 1 year this compound did not form. He says, you have told me the reason why it has not formed. Write a paper. Sir, is that possible? Of course, you write the paper. Sir, we submitted to Solid State Communications. That time it was a very high prestige journal. So is now. Sir, it got accepted as it is. My first paper was on negative result, why a given compound did not exist.
Some editors are very, I would say, learned and very mature, and they do understand the importance of negative results, and they will do access to. But this is not very common, let me tell you that.
And we should encourage all of our younger colleagues.
I have one observation. If we go 500 years back, when printing press was invented and books became available, I was once going through certain historical papers, and it influenced the way teachers were. It influenced the way teachers were working.
Yeah.
There were no books earlier. Whatever teachers were saying, that was the word. When books came, the role of teacher evolved. So I guess role of teacher has been continuously.
Yes, sir.
As I said with so many things, this advent of AI will become more and more popular. I feel that the teacher is going to be always there. That is not role will evolve. Yes. The importance of teacher we can never forget. That will
And that is why,
continue.
especially for human values,
Yes.
teaching is also associated with the human values.
Human values.
So that cannot be implemented by AI.
I think I just always, whenever people talk of AI, teachers will not be required. I say it can never happen. Teachers will always be required, whatever may be the situation. Without teachers, one can.
Absolutely, absolutely. And teachers should use all the available resources at his
For their benefit, sir.
disposal for doing the primary duty of teaching and creating the culture of critical thinking.
But I think, I do not know how far it will be considered. You see, the teacher's success is creating more teachers. In fact, you see, you are student of J.B. Joshi,
Yes.
and you know, your student,
Gopte is my
and J.B.
student.
Joshi student of Sarmaji. See, generations of teachers.
Four generations,
But I don't know how AI is going to play on that.
The AI will speed up. See, today, AI, if you use it in research, imagine you are trying to find a catalyst. Currently, previously, earlier, when molecular modeling, DFT's tools were not available, we used to do hundreds of experiments based on the basic periodic table and the functionality of each materials or each metal, and then try this out, try that out, so on and so forth. But molecular modeling, DFT calculations, AI has reduced that time so much that the rate at which the new knowledge which is going to get generated is going to be phenomenally fast.
Yes, yes.
Right? And it is just not humanly possible for everybody to be a withholder of that particular knowledge. Right? Even in our ancient times, each Veda was associated with one teacher. Right? Chaturvedi, exactly, was essentially they could recite all the four Vedas. Trivedi, three Vedas. But that doesn't necessarily mean they had a mastery of understanding those particular Vedas. They could debate. Because in earlier parts, the entire dissemination of information in the ancient literature used to be by mouth.
Yes, yes.
Right? Everything. And that's why we see all our information is in the form of not a prose, but in the form of poem. Because remembering poems is much easier as compared to remembering prose. So you will find all the information, sutras and everything is in the form of poem.
Some rhythm and all, yes.
Some rhythm.
Yes, sir.
Remembering this. That is how I think that is a learning of pedagogy. Essentially, what is the type of learning or pedagogical skill set which the student is easier to assimilate the information. That is how the pedagogy gets developed. And same thing is going to happen here also. The AI will tell you which students are in a position to understand what way of understanding. In a simple transformation, I give talks in cavitation. I said, you want to carry out a physical, chemical, biological transformation. Each transformation is related with the removal or addition of energy. Without that, transformation is not going to occur. Either exothermic, endothermic, whatever it is. If you deliver the energy in the required form, in the required quantity, in the required location, the quantum of energy requirement for transformation, carrying out transformation or removal of energy will be so efficient that everything will be reaching its thermodynamic limit. Not possible yet, but I think their attempt at least should be in that direction.
So this reminds me old chemistry discovery, greatest discovery of last century, Haber process. Sir, I read he used thousands of catalysts to combine nitrogen and hydrogen. Very uphill process. Finally, iron. And if he had access to DFT and molecular modeling,
He would have done
he
it.
would have done maybe 10 years back or 15 years back.
Nylon was discovered. How many experiments he failed before he could come out with the.
That is where publishing the negative results is very useful.
So this idea, it was not mine, but I could not articulate the way you did. Really remarkable. Friends, young friends and others, please don't miss this opportunity and interact with sir. This side.
If you don't have any questions, think about it. I've said I'll come
Very
to interact.
purpose, is to
I'll be more than happy to come back and interact with you. I'm fine. Because again, as I said, I have to rush back. But any quick comments, questions, I'm welcome to hear us.
We talk about artificial intelligence, but the same voice we talk about natural stupidity. it is beginning. Because they are getting a lot of information, and how this is going to affect the students. The students are getting a lot of information. They are trying to, they may not, the way we remember things. They are not going to the
I think-
remembering things.
We are also living for it. Earlier, before the mobile came, I could recite 150 phone numbers
Yes, yes, sir.
without any difficulty.
Yes.
Now you ask my own phone number, I have to look for it.
Correct.
So unless you keep that faculty functional, see, we are using less than 2% of our brain capabilities. The more we load, the more active it is going to be. And that is what is the job of a teacher, to keep that brain active all the time.
Probably that may be the challenge the teacher
It
is going
is.
to face.
And we can ask that question to AI, how can I do that? You'll get some answers, let's see what those answers are.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable thoughts and inspiring message, and sharing your thoughts about role of teacher, teaching, research, outreach with the society, and scholarly writing in newly evolved role as a teacher. Thank you very much, sir. Your words will surely guide and motivate us. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly present a memento to the Chief Guest, please.
दोनों गाड़ी में रखना है सर, ठीक है?
Thank you very much, sir. As we come towards the conclusion of the formal program, I would like to express our gratitude. On behalf of HBNI, I sincerely thank our Vice Chancellor for his constant guidance and encouragement. A special thanks to our Chief Guest, Professor A.B. Pandit sir, for gracing this occasion with his presence and sharing such inspiring thoughts. I also thank Professor R.B. Grover sir, respected Dean Professor Tyagi sir, the distinguished faculty members, and students and all the support staff for joining this occasion. Thank you very much. Vice for national.
National anthem. You don't know. Please announce.
Please rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की
Jai.